Shavua Tov and welcome, everybody. I'm delighted that you're here, and for those of you who are online, I'm delighted that you're joining us. This afternoon, we didn't actually have a 6 o'clock minyan, and so we had talked about Rabbi Josh doing a little bit of teaching, and from the teaching, we would do a Kaddish to Rabbanan, so that if there are any mourners who wanted to recite the Kaddish Tome, they would be available to do so.
Hi, everybody. Shavua Tov. It's really nice to get to be back here in this space and get to be with you in person and virtually. And so I'm excited to spend a little time singing some more together, learning a little bit, and getting to engage in some of the beautiful words of our tradition. We're going to start with some words from the Psalms that also are words that we begin our morning service with, and also words that we say on the holidays in the Torah service. The words about each one of us becoming a prayer. Va'ani tfilati. Va'ani tfilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. And I am a prayer to you, God, in my time of need. Elohim berov chastecha, God, in your infinite grace. Aneni be'emet yishecha. Answer me in the expanse of your salvation. Right? And it's like sort of the opposite of, we talked a little bit this morning about one of the verses from the Psalms we sing during Hallel is, Min hametzar karatiya, I call out to you from this very narrow place. And God answers in this expansiveness, Anani bamer chavya. And that's what this one is all about. It's the expansiveness of what an answer can sound like if we actually put ourselves out there as a prayer. If you say, this is what I need, what would it look like to hear an answer coming back? And we say va'ani tfilati, the word ani comes even before the word tfilah. And the way that we're going to sing it in this particular melody is we're going to ground ourselves in that ani, and what it means to be myself before I become a prayer. So it's va'ani tfilati, and I am a prayer. And we'll talk a lot this evening about what it means. The way that we sing things expresses how the words are meant to be said, right? We can evoke the emotions that are meant when we write these melodies. And so that's what we're going to start with. Va'ani tfilati. These words come from the Psalms, and they're the words that we begin our day with, the end, the Matovu prayer, when we get to be in these amazing sanctuaries. And here we are in a beautiful, beautiful sanctuary that I've been dreaming of being in for over a year now. We've been talking for over a year and a half about what it would look like, but I was supposed to be here about a year ago this week. And here we are a year later getting to actually be in the sanctuary, and to me that feels like something to be grateful for. So it goes like this. I have the words over here if people want them. And if you're looking ahead when you get to this song sheet, it's going to be song number 8, but we're going to sing it now so that because of these verses from the Psalms and this teaching, we can add a Kaddish to Rabbanan for anybody who's in mourning right now. It goes like this. Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. That's the whole first part. You want to try it? If you feel like singing along, you're always welcome this whole evening. Whenever you feel you want to sing the words with me, it's Va'ani. Va'ani. Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. We're on number 8 if you're following in there. Va'ani, va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. Elohim berov chastecha. Va'ani לך אדוני את רצון ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך ענני באמת ישעך אלוהים ברוב חסדך ענני באמת ישעך מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו אוהליך יעקב מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו משכנותיך ישראל try that with me מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו אוהליך יעקב מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו מה טובו משכנותיך ישראל
I said this morning, it is a treat to have to lower the microphone. If you're observing a yortzeit or in the period of mourning, I invite you to please rise and join with me for the Kaddish Yatom. It's on page 38. It's actually, we're going to do the Kaddish to Rabbi on page 38. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yamad yivrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudasha b'rechu. Leila mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata da'ami ranbi alma v'imru amen. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Talmidei v'al kol Talmidei Hon v'al kol ma'an doskin ba'oraita. Divat Radin v'dibachol atar v'atar yehe lachon u'lachon shlomo rabba china v'chista v'rachamin v'chayin arichina v'zona v'rivicha u'forkana min kodem avundi v'shmaya v'yimru amen. Yehe shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu b'rachamav ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. Would you like the congregation to rise for Havdallah? Not yet, okay.
All right, everyone. So for the course of the next hour or so, we're gonna sing together. If you feel like singing, you're more than welcome. If you feel like listening and just internalizing whatever you feel you want to do is great. At the end of any song, if you feel like you want to just take a moment and breathe it in, there's an energy that's created when you get to sing together. So take a moment and breathe it in and let it sink in. And whether it's an upbeat song or a melodic song, whatever we're feeling, just allow yourself to be in that feeling and feel comfortable doing that. We're going to make our way out of Shabbat together by joining together in Havdallah. And before we do, I have a love song to Shabbat that I like to sing. And it just starts with a great big sigh. It just goes, ah. Can everyone give a big sigh like that? Just take a big breath. Ah. Do one more, just like that. Ah. And the ah, it has a melody that goes along with it, and it goes like this. Ah. Do you want to try that with me? Let's try it again, just like that. So that's gonna come around a whole bunch of times, and when it does, I hope you sing along with me, because it's nice to just breathe in that last little bit of Shabbat and breathe it out as we go into the rest of the week. So we're gonna sing this love song to Shabbat. You'll notice in the chorus some of those senses that we use to recognize that Shabbat is beginning and to recognize that Shabbat is ending. Goes like this. When the moonlight hits your eyes and the stars begin to glow, one by one, and the flame that shines below from 1,000 points of light, brighter than the sun. And you can taste it, you can smell it in the air, and you can wish it on my fingertips, and you can wish it like a whisper on your lips. Count the stars like 1, 2, 3 and say goodbye. Sing just like that again. Give me the wisdom to behold what's dark from what is light. I believe, and in belief is love. And when I'm in your arms, I'm unafraid. Now you can taste it, you can smell it in the air, and you can see it on my fingertips, and you can wish it like a whisper on your lips. Count the stars like 1, 2, 3 and say goodbye. You can taste it, you can taste it, you can smell it in the air, you can see it, and you can see it on my fingertips, and you can wish it like a whisper on your lips. Count the stars like 1, 2, 3 and say goodbye. Sing This time rise in that if you're able. We're gonna jump into the Havdallah. So if you want to stand up with us for Havdallah, you're more than welcome to do that. We'll light our Havdallah candle and make our way into Havdallah together. Here we go. Hine el Yeshuati Eftach velo efchad Ki ozi v'zimratya Adonai Vayehi li lishua Ushaftem mayim Besason Mimaynei HaYeshua L'Adonai, L'Adonai HaYeshua Alamcha birchatecha selah Adonai Tzevaot Imanu Miskav lanu Elohei Yaakov selah Adonai Tzevaot Ashrei Adam Boteach ba Adonai Hoshia HaMelech שהחיינו ביום קוראנו ליהודים הייתה אורה בשמחה וששון ויקר כן תהיה לנו כוס ישועות אשא ובשם אדוני אקרא. Sing out one last time. Shavua tov, 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 Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishmi, Eliyahu David, Mashiach ben David. Yeah.
Okay, so I've done this now twice to Rabbi Warshawsky, and I want to just apologize. He's been around here so much. I sometimes feel like, well, why introduce him? That's like, let me introduce you to Reverend Aminia, as if you people don't know it. But as we were making Havdallah, I was looking out and I was realizing that some of you, this might be your first time being with Rabbi Warshawsky. So first, I just want to introduce him by saying he's a very talented and wonderful conservative rabbi who was ordained at American Jewish University. When I went there, it was the University of Judaism. And he is an artist in residence around the country. He teaches about prayer. He uses his love of music to try and create a connection between our liturgy and the community and the individual, and to create kind of a nexus, whether it's between a person and a text, a person and their community. And of course, he wants to be involved and connected as well. And so he's about to publish, is that the word? Release an album. He's got others here that you'll want to listen to. And I just want to say, like, when I need some space, I will often go to Spotify and just put in Rabbi Warshawsky's name, and whatever comes up, it seems to be the right thing. So I'm really glad that our community is on your radar and that we're part of your circle. And I'm grateful to Susan and Bill Firestone and to Ellen and Dave Ratner and to the Simon Katz Foundation for making this weekend possible. But the truth is, it's not like a one piece. Like, Rabbi Warshawsky's with us now. He's going to be working with a cadre of people who are interested in learning and thinking about davening. And he's going to be doing some teaching. He's not going to be here in our community again this year, but he'll be Zooming with us. And we haven't figured out the dates, but we will, and we'll certainly let you know. And so I'm glad that this isn't the end, but really the beginning of a really important project that we're thinking about. So now I can say, please join me in welcoming Rabbi Warshawsky to our community.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Shavua Tov. It's nice to be back with all of you. And so we have our song sheets right here. And so all the words that we're going to sing are going to come from the words on this page, which come from the liturgy all over our tradition. But as soon as I end Shabbat, one of the things that I like to do is go right back into Shabbat, because I'm always trying to find a way to get towards Shabbat. If you're ever emailing with me starting on like Wednesday afternoon, my email signature changes to Shabbat Shalom, because you're getting really close to Shabbat. Right? Starting Tuesday night to Wednesday morning is the farthest you are from any Shabbat. Right? It's the farthest from the last Shabbat, the farthest from the next Shabbat. But as soon as it gets close to Wednesday, then you're already moving towards the next Shabbat. And right now, we're very close to the Shabbat that just left us, but I'm feeling far from the next Shabbat. So I like to just bring that energy of Shabbat back into it from the very beginning. And so we're going to sing these words, which are a poem written by Chaim Nachman Bialik, all about the sun setting behind the treetops and going out together to welcome the Shabbat bride, the Shabbat queen, with her angels of peace and rest. Boi hamalka, boi kala, come be with us, with all your angels. Shalom aleichem malachei hashalom. Peace be with you, O angels of peace. So the chorus is just that top line. And again, whenever you feel moved to sing along, you're more than welcome to do so. It's nice for you that everybody is wearing a mask. So if you don't feel comfortable showing that you're singing, I will never know whether or not you're singing. But that also makes it hard, because I also can't see if anybody's smiling or frowning. So if you're feeling moved physically by the music and you're moving around a little bit, then that'll make me know that at least we're resonating a little bit. But also, if that's not something that you're comfortable with, feel free to stay where you are. But it goes like this. Boi amalka, boi kala, shalom aleichem malachei hashalom. Boi amalka, boi kala, shalom aleichem malachei hashalom. That's the whole chorus. Try with me. Boi amalka, boi kala, shalom aleichem malachei hashalom. Boi amalka, boi kala, shalom aleichem malachei hashalom. Hachama merosh, ha'ilanot nistalka, bo v'neitzu יוצא לקראת שבת המלכה. הנה היא יורדת הקדושה ברוחה, ועם המלאכים צבא שלום ומנוחה. בואי המלכה, בואי כלה, שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום. בואי המלכה, בואי כלה, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Let's try that word shalom. It goes like this. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei HaShalom. Try with me one more time like that, just the word shalom. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei HaShalom. Boi HaMalkah, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. Boi HaMalkah, Boi Kala. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom. So we're in that Shabbat environment. We're going to sing one more Shabbat song, and then we'll make our way into the rest of the week. The kids yesterday really liked the foot tambourine. I don't know if it'll translate as well with this audience, but we'll see. So we're going to sing a Shabbat Zemer. I love Shabbat Zmirot. Zmirot are these Shabbat table songs. I sang them around the table growing up when we would have Shabbat dinner. And the Hebrew language, I have a very deep love for the Hebrew language. And the word Zemer is what we call a song that we sing on Shabbat. What's the word in Hebrew for what we call a song regularly? Normally, a shir, right? A shir is a song, but on Shabbat, there's something elevated, there's something different about it. It's a zemer. And everything in Hebrew, I believe, is intentional. All the letters are formed in different ways. They all have connections to each other. And the word zemer, when you read it backwards, what do you have? A remez. And what's a remez? A hint. A remez is a hint, right? It's not just a song when you sing it on Shabbat. It's got a hint of something more. It's a hint of elevation, a hint of Shabbat, a hint of divinity, a hint of holiness. And that's what Shabbat Zmirot are all about. They're about coming together around a table and feeling that extra hint of elevation, feeling the hint of an extra soul that we get on Shabbat. And so most of these Shabbat Zmirot that we sing are themes of wedding and celebration, food, rest, prayer. And this one is about a connection with God. It's called Yari Bono. It was written by Rav Yisrael Najara in the 14th century. And unlike a painting that you can just sign, it was very difficult for people to know who wrote all these melodies when you would just sing it over here and you'd sing it over there. So what did they do? They wrote their names in the song with the verses. So this song has 5 verses, and they spell out Yisrael. The verses that we have here is just the first verse with Yah, and the second verse with the last verse with Lemik Teshech. So I just gave you the Yud and the Lamed from Yisrael, but that's what we'll sing in, and it's a nice way to be remembered, I think, to have your name sort of just stuck in the middle of a song. We'll talk more about that later. This is a song called Yari Bon. It goes like this. Yari Bon, Yari Bon Olam. To קדמה להחוויה יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה דרך מחיה יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה מלך מלכיה ולמקדשך טוב ולקודש קודשין עתרתי ויחדון רוחין ונפשין ויזמרו לך שירים ורחשים בירושלים קרתה דשופריה יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה מלך מלכיה יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה מלך מלכיה. Try with me. יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה מלך מלכיה. One last time. יא ריבון עולם ועל מעיין תומקה מלך מלכיה מלך מלכיה מלך מלכיה. All right. What do we think about the foot tambourine? Fans? Not fans? It resonates with, okay, claps for the foot tambourine. It has a very powerful resonance in this open space. So, okay, so we're going to sing Anim Zmirot, which is a text that I've sung ever since I was a little kid in shul. And at the conservative congregation that I grew up at, and I think at many different congregations, I don't know if it was ever like this here, but it was like a little kid would come up to the bima and they would sing this one. And the congregation would respond, and it was cute and nice and lovely. And then, if you take a moment and you look at these words, this is some like deep and powerful and evocative love poetry that we're having like an 8 or 9-year-old kid sing out to the congregation in response, call and response. And it's very strange. But that's what happens when we want moments to highlight our kids in the sanctuary, and we pick the one that's at the very end because that's the one that they'll come back for right before the challah and the grape juice comes out. But these words, Anim Zmirot, I will sing songs, Zmirot, right, like we do on Shabbat, and weave melodies because my soul yearns for you. Nafshi chamda b'tzil yadecha, my soul finds comfort in the shade of your palm, ladat kol raz zodecha, to find out, to know the secrets of your secrets. And it's this really deep, beautiful love poetry, and it's describing all the ways in which I love you, describing all the connections that we feel to God. And then later on in the song, there's this one line that sort of negates the whole thing. It says, Lo yedaticha velo rayaticha. I've never seen you, and I do not know you. And we've described the lips and the hands and everything. And then right towards the end of the song, we say, but I've never seen you, and I don't know you. And to me, that line, when I first thought about it, gives each one of us license to craft what our own relationship with divinity looks like. right? This is what this author wrote, but then realized in the middle that they had no idea what they were talking about. It was all in their head, in their heart, in their soul. And then we call out, and we can have the ability to create our own relationships. And so that's what this particular melody is all about. It's about the kinds of melodies. Each one of us can weave our own melodies and sing our own sweet songs to what that relationship, to what holiness, to what faith, to what God feels like in our lives. It goes like this. Did you find something interesting? Okay. Anim zemirot v'shirim merot ki elecha nafshi tzarok nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol rasotecha anim zemirot v'shirim merot nafshi tarok nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol rasotecha anim zemirot anim zemirot v'shirim merot ki elecha nafshi tarok nafshi chamda b'tzel yadecha ladat kol rasotecha anim zemirot v'shirim erot ki elecha nafshi tarok anim zemirot mo v'shirim Thanks, everyone. Thanks. If you don't have to, but thank you. I appreciate it. In some ways, it's both a moment of, this is a performative moment, but also it's a prayerful moment. And so sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do in a moment like that. And everyone can do whatever they want. That's what I'll say. So, all right, we're going to stay in this mode where we are right now just for one more melody, and then we'll move out of it a little bit. But this next piece is one that I've been carrying with me a whole lot over the last year and a half, and So let me tell you a little bit about what I travel around to different communities all over the country, and I write this music, and I try and share with different places, and I'm very interested in what these words what was the emotion that they're originally written with, and how can we think about those emotions in order to figure out what's going on in our own hearts and minds and souls, and explore what it means for us today. What does it mean for our daily lives? And these words come from Psalm 23, and I had recorded my last album, Chavirai Nevarech, which means friends let us bless, 3.5 in May 2018, at this beautiful place in Los Angeles called the Pico Union Project, and I brought 10 friends together to sing and craft these melodies and craft harmonies in a live space. We recorded the whole album live and videotaped it because we wanted to capture what it felt like to create the energy that's created when you sing music together. And when you sing harmonies, then there's elevation. You can feel there's a tangible feeling in the space. And so I wrote all these melodies, and we sang them all together. It was really powerful. And we were about to start touring around to share the melodies with different people. And I brought my violinist and my very dear friend, my musical chavruta, Colleen Diekert. She came to Los Angeles to practice with me. That's where I was living at the time. We were getting ready, and she was having a very difficult time because a few of her very dear friends had passed away recently. And these words, Psalm 23, came to me. These are words that we say in times of loss, in times of loneliness, when we've lost someone. And we're playing around with this melody and thinking about these particular words. Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, lo ira ra ki ata imadi. I'll fear no evil, for you are with me. And we thought about those words, and we later on in the psalm, the line that we put next to it is actually not the next line in the psalm, but later on it says, Ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni. Surely goodness and kindness will follow me, kol yemei chayai, all the days of my life. Now, how is it? It's usually translated, will follow me, right? Does anyone know that the Lord's Prayer in the English? Was that like ingrained in anybody in childhood? What was it? Surely goodness and kindness will follow me? Okay, well, follow me all the days of my life. So the word yirdefuni, if you think about it, whenever it appears in the Bible, it's usually someone chasing someone either angrily or on horseback. It's not just following. It's like this. It's a very active movement. Lirdof acharei is like it's like running after. And the idea, the word choices are all intentional. So surely goodness and kindness will chase after me. It's not just that it's following you. It's not just that it's like 10 steps behind you. It's that when you're feeling the most alone, if you can stop for a second and open up your eyes to what you're actually feeling, where might goodness and kindness come from? It's running after you. It's looking for you. You don't even have to look for it. Just stop moving for 1 second and pause and see where it might come to find you. And so the way that we recorded this melody, it's going to come out. We have 2 albums coming out. So one's coming out on Tuesday, and the next one's going to come out in the spring. This one's on the spring album. We recorded it every time. It's sort of a vocal waterfall. It starts with one voice, and then a second voice joins in, and a third voice joins in. So every time you sing these words, Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil because I'm not alone. Every time you sing the words, the voice that's singing is less alone. We're adding more and more voices to the mix. So right now, we only have my voice in the harmony section. So I'm just going to sing the melody, but if you want to join your voices into that melody, I'm just going to sing the melody line 4 times. So if you want to join in and help that voice feel less alone, please feel free to do that. And the melody, it'll change when we get to the yirdefuni. You'll hear it actually chasing after. Kol yemei chayai, that's the desire. What does it mean to pause for a second and look around? Where might goodness and kindness come from? Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Gam ki elech b'gates ha'mavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Ki ata imadi. Ki ata imadi. כי אתה עמדי. אך טוב, טוב וחסד, אך טוב, טוב וחסד, אך טוב, טוב וחסד ירדפוני, ירדפוני, ירדפוני. כל ימי חיי, 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 כל ימי חיי. גם כי אלך בגץ המוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. גם כי אלך בגץ המוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. גם כי אלך בגץ המוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. גם כי אלך בגץ המוות לא אירא רע, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי, כי אתה עמדי. אך טוב, טוב וחסד, אך טוב, טוב וחסד, אך טוב, טוב וחסד ירדפוני, ירדפוני, ירדפוני. כל ימי חיי, 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 כל ימי חיי. All right, we're going to change modes. It starts in a similar place, but it moves beyond. This next text is something that I've been thinking about for a long time because it sits right in the middle of the Torah service. If you look at these words, like I looked at these words for a very long time, I would look at these words and I would say, I don't know where these words come from. They don't look familiar to me. I don't know if they look familiar to anybody else on the page. These are words that I'd never sung out loud before I started singing them out loud. And they sit right at the end of the Torah service. And in the beginning of the Torah service, we take out the Torah, we say, Vayehi binso Aharon vayomer Moshe kuma Adonai, right? Vayafutsu oivecha. Adzel led us beautifully this morning. And those words say, Vayhi b'nso Aharon, when the ark would go out on its journey, Moses would say, Kuma Adonai, let's go, come out, and in the face of your enemies, the ark is going to lead us away. We're going to come out in battle victorious. And we take out the Torah and we read from it. And then we put the Torah back in the ark and we say, Uvnucho Yomar. When the ark is placed down, we will say, but there's like 4 lines right there that we never say out loud. And one day I looked at those lines and I said, oh my God, these lines have something really important to say to us, and we never listen to them. And this is what they say. It says, Shuva Adonai revot al fei Yisrael. Come, return God to the people of Israel. Not let's go out. Usually when we talk about Shuva, it's us returning to God. But this is God, come back with us. We just read from your Torah. We're here. We're here in the sanctuary. So come back and be with us. Kuma Adonai limnuchatecha. Come to your resting place, this beautiful ark. Ata ve'aron uzecha, the ark of your strength. And this is the key. Kohanecha yilbeshu tzedek v'chasidecha yiranenu. What happens when God's going to return to this place? It's Kohanecha, the priests, yilbeshu tzedek, will wear justice. I never saw something like that before. The priests will wear justice. And usually, if you've ever read anything from Leviticus, we talk a lot about all the things that the priests are supposed to wear, which is like rubies and diamonds and emeralds and jewels and the beautiful breastplate with all the nice gold on it and the big hat and the robe and everything. But none of that matters, because what matters is for the priests to be robed in justice. Kohanecha yilbeshu tzedek. And only then, chasidecha yiranenu. That's when the chasidim, the people who are close to the people that love you, that's when they're going to rejoice. This message that this is what the Torah is trying to teach us. We put the Torah back in the ark and we say, what did we learn when we read you? We read that the priest should be robed in justice. And we never say that line out loud. We just let it go right there, right past it. To ki lekach tov natati lachem. Oh, I gave you this beautiful teaching. Torati al ta'azovu. My Torah, don't ever let it go away from you. But we didn't learn from it because this is what it's supposed to tell us. Kohanecha yilbeshu tzedek. Your priests are robed in justice. So we're going to sing Shuvah. The melody sort of weaves around, trying to find where God's going to come down to this resting place. But when we get to this Kohanecha yilbeshu tzedek, it's I sort of think of it like it's sort of a Western hoedown. It's like it's going to be joyful. When we can finally see what Kohanecha, what priests robed in justice look like, we're gonna celebrate. Lechu neranana, from that same word in Kabbalat Shabbat, we're going to rejoice. We're going to celebrate. What might that sound like? What might that experience be like? So this is what I think it might sound like. Shuvah, Shuvah, Shuvah Adonai, Rivevot Alfei Yisrael. Shuvah, Shuvah, Shuvah Adonai, Rivevot Alfei Yisrael. Kuma, Kuma Adonai, Limnuchatecha. Kuma, Adonai, Rivevot Alfei Yisrael. Shuvah, Shuvah, Shuvah Adonai, Rivevot Alfei Yisrael. Kuma, Adonai, Limnuchatecha. kohanecha yilbeshu tzedek v'chasidecha yiranenu 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 What do we think? What does it say? Justice. Sounds nice, right? Yeah, that would be nice if they would robe themselves in justice. Okay, should we learn something? What do we think? Should we learn something? Okay, so the new album that I'm about to release on Tuesday is a Shabbos album. 7 songs for Shabbat. 7, because 7 days of the week, and it's 7 holy nights. So 7, the Shabbat. And 5 of them are melodies from the liturgy, for words from the liturgy. And 2 of them are new Shabbat Zmirot, new Shabbat texts that we could sing around the Shabbos table, because as I mentioned, Yari Bon, many of these Shabbos Zmirot were written in the 14th, 15th centuries, and I figured it might be time for there to be some 21st century Shabbat Zmirot on the same themes, using the same ideas, and these texts they're littered with verses, and they're like verses from liturgy and from Kabbalat Shabbat, from the Song of Songs, all these beautiful places. So we just released this song yesterday, and we recorded it with a whole klezmer band. So it's going to sound different when it's just me than if it is with a whole klezmer band. So I encourage you to go online and see. It's just my name, joshwarshawsky.com, or on YouTube, or wherever you find your music. Yomam V'Layla. This is it. It's on page 5. It's song number 12. And just like we said, how do you remember who wrote a Shabbat Zemer? Who remembers? How do they let you know who wrote it? They put their name in it. So I put my name in the Shabbat Zemer. So if you look at the verses, it spells out Yehoshua. And many Shabbats Zmirot begin, the second verse is also the chorus. So this is my second verse is also the chorus. You might recognize the words from a whole bunch of different places, hopefully. And if you don't recognize it, I footnoted it for you so you could find the places where you thought you recognized the words from. And this is the kind of melody that this is. It's an A, B, C, B melody, right? There's an A section, a B section, a C section, and back to the B section. In Hasidic nigunim, this is called a Yud, He, Vav, He nigun. Yud, He, Vav, He. Because when you're going up the ladder in holiness, when you're generating all this energy, when you're singing out loud, you don't want to go all the way back down the ladder. You want to just take one step down, right? If you're all the way up at the top, you have to come back down slowly. So that's the kind of melody that it is. And we're going to learn the chorus, and I'll sing the verses, but hopefully you'll sing the chorus with me. It goes like this. Ay ay na 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 na. Try it. Ay ay na 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 na. Ay ay na 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 na. Try it again. Ay ay na 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 na. Hum did I na 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 ya na 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 na. Go. Hum did I na 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 ya na 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 na. Hi ya na na ya na 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 na. Hi ya na na ya na na na. Let me try it again. Hum did I na 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 ya na 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 na. Hum-da-da-da-da-da, na-ya-da-da-da-da, hi-ya-da-da-da-da-ya-da-da-da-da. Hi-ya-da-da-da-ya-da. Let's try the whole thing. Ay-ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ay-ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hum-da-da-da-da-da-da-ya-da-da-da-da. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-ya-da-da-da-da. Hum-da-da-da-da-da-da-ya-da-da-da-da. Ay-ya-da-da-da-da-ya-da-da-da-da. Good, that's the whole chorus. Okay, let's try it with the words. It's the second verse, the one that's bolded, number 12. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. Try it. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. Shetorat chesed aleshona. Shetorat chesed aleshona. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Go. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Again, a mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Go. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat. Let's try the whole thing. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. Shetorat chesed aleshona. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Oy mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Beautiful. Okay, so that's the whole chorus. And the B section, the hum-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, is also the B section of every verse. So you'll recognize the melody and you can jump in with those words too. We'll slow it down just a little bit. But it's a party, so we can't slow it down too much. So it goes like this. Whenever you come to the chorus, hopefully you'll sing along with me. Here's the beginning. Yomam v'layla, day and night, we wait for you. Anachnu mechakim lashevet beveitech, to sit in your house, le'orech yamim, for all time. It goes like this. Yomam v'layla, anachnu mechakim, lashevet beveitech, le'orech yamim. Hine at ba'a v'simla levana, ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Hine at ba'a v'simla levana, ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. Shetorat chesed aleshona. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Ay, 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 mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Uveyom shevo shavat mikol melachto. Nishmor v'nizkor lekodsho mibo ve'ad seito. B'shira uvezimra nazmin laseuda. Et ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. B'shira uvezimra nazmin laseuda. Et ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. Shetorat chesed aleshona. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Mitzvah gedola liot besimcha. Im ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Shuvi shuvi rayati v'necha zevach. Higalena lirot betiferet uzach. Mechag ve'aseh layonati ba. Ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Mechag ve'aseh layonati ba. Ahuvatenu Shabbat hamalka. Hitoreri uvoi hakala. שתורת חסד על לשונה, מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. הנה כל עמך זורחות ומאירות, בברכם על נרות ויין וחלות, עונג ושירה וליל מלא שמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. עונג ושירה וליל מלא שמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. התעוררי ובואי הכלה, שתורת חסד על לשונה, מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, עם אהובתנו שבת המלכה. איי 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 ay 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 nay 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 ay nay ay nay nay I'm the nay 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 ay nay 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 ay nay 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 ay nay 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 I'm the nay 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 da 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 ay 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 ay. Thanks everyone. New Shabbat Mirot. Bring it to your Shabbos table. Okay, this is a choose your own adventure moment. We're going to do one more song before the last song. Do we want another Shabbat Zemer or do we want Psalms? Psalms. Okay. So we're gonna come back to number 9. This is a great choice, Alan. Thank you. So this one comes from Psalm 59, and it's going to be the last one that we do right before we close on an up note. This will be a close on a beautiful note, hopefully. And these words have also I've been really carrying them with me over the course of the pandemic because the words of the Psalms, there's 150 Psalms. And we sing maybe a third of them over the course of the Jewish calendar at some point, weekdays, on Shabbat, on holidays, and that leaves 2/3 of the Psalms that we never experience. And the Psalms, Rabbi Walk was talking about this earlier this morning, that every breadth of human emotions is present in the Psalms. And so if we can explore what these Psalms are trying to say, they always can speak to us. And so here's what it says, Va'ani asher uzecha, and I will sing out your strength. And it turns out that I learned in the beginning of the pandemic, that in the year 1897, there was a plague in the city of Bombay. And the Jewish community of Bombay reached out to the Ben Ish Chai, who was the chief rabbi of Baghdad at the time, and they said, can you write for us a siddur of prayers that we can say during the time of a plague? And he wrote them a siddur, and in the centerfold of the siddur, right there in the middle are these words, like a mantra, backwards and forwards. Va'ani asher uzecha va'aranen laboker chastecha ki hayita miskavli umanos beyom tsarli. And these words have been bringing comfort to our people for hundreds of years. The same words. And these words are about finding our strength, finding the power of our own voices. Va'ani asher uzecha, and I will sing your strength. Va'aranen laboker chastecha, and exalt to the morning your faithfulness. Ki hayita miskavli, you've been a haven for me. Umanos beyom tsarli, a help for me in my time of distress. And here's the key here. I think the mantra that we're going to sing over and over is those last 3 words, Uzi elecha azamera. My strength, I will sing out to you. And in the beginning of the psalm, we're singing Va'ani asher uzecha, I will sing your strength. But just one line later, after singing together, we're no longer singing somebody else's strength, we're singing Uzi. Right? When we can come together, in community, we can find the power of our own individual voices. I love that idea. And it's right here in the Psalms. And so when we're singing Uzi elecha azamera, I invite you, if there's a moment where you want to sing out and make your voice heard, sing out. And I also invite you to find a moment to just listen and hear the other voices sending strength to you. Va'ani asher uzecha, I will sing out strength of our voices. Vani ashiru zecha va'arane lavoker chastecha ki hayita miskavli umanos biyom tsarli Vani ashiru zecha Va'arane lavoker chastecha Ki hayita miskavli umanos biyom tsarli Vani ashiru zecha Va'arane lavoker chastecha Ki hayita miskavli umanos biyom tsarli Vani ashiru zecha Va'arane lavoker chastecha Ki hayita miskavli umanos biyom tsarli Uzi eilecha azamera azamera Uzi eilecha azamera azamera Uzi eilecha azamera azamera Azamera, Azamera. Thanks so much, everyone. It's been so wonderful to get to spend the evening with you and spend Shabbat with all of you, to get to sing together and pray together and learn together. Thanks for continuing the relationship. Thanks to Rabbi Walk for bringing me out to the community. Thanks to Ellen and Dave and Bill and Susan also for everything that you've done to make this happen, and to all of you for being here. It's really wonderful to get to sing and share, and I know there's lots of things that you can do on a Saturday night, so I'm appreciative. I hope the music is meaningful to you. You can find it wherever you find your music. It's all over. The videos are on YouTube if you want to check out what it feels like, what it looks like to have this Chaverai Nevarech, this friends blessing together experience. I'd love to share that with you. We're going to end with song number 10, which we also sang this morning, but it's one that just brings me joy and brings me illumination. And it's all about the newness, the things that we can create in the world. And I hope that, for those of us who were with us this morning, that even from this morning to right now, you're not the same person that you were then, right? That we have new information, that we have new things to consider, that we are slightly a different person than we were before, that there's newness in the world for us to bring, for us to give. There's newness in our soul. Hame'ira, she who illuminates the world and all of her inhabitants with mercy. Uvtuva mechadeshet, and in goodness creates new things in the world. So we're going to try and hum something new into the world today. If you want to clap, if you want to stomp, if you want to bring anything that can add to this prayer, to this moment together, you're more than welcome to do that. I would love that and welcome it. It starts with a hum, because in the beginning there was nothing, and then there was a bang. And after that, the world kept expanding and expanding. But first, that primal hum was all that there was. It was just the hum of existence, the hum of possibility. So let's hum with possibility. Hum, ha, hum, ha, ha, hum, ha, ha, hum, ha, ha, Shavua Tov, everyone. Thank you so much.